Great day, everyone. We're back. So, I want to start with a question for you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good would you say that you are with listening? So, we listen in many, many different aspects of our lives. We listen at home, we listen at work and in business, we listen as we interact with the world. So, how good are you at listening? So your results may be similar for all of those different interactions, but you might find that there are some consistencies because we tend to show up in habit form. We do things in a very habitual way, and that includes the way that we listen. So while many of us are so comfortable speaking, it's listening that is really our ability to connect with the heart, to hear people, to understand, to really help them know that we care about them. So today on the Coffee with Rhonda show, we are joined by the great, wonderful, fabulous, and amazing Randy. We'll tell you the story about that later. And Randall Kenneth Jones. And we're going to talk about listening for non listeners. So, are you a non listener? I'm not too sure about that. But in any case, let's get ready to rock and roll. And let's get ready to lead above the grind. Let's roll. Oh, well, that was interesting. Well, I don't know what happened with that, but in any case, here we go, right? Because who in the world knows what happens with technology? So, welcome everybody. Welcome to season 9. So excited to be here with all of you. And we have an amazing and fantastic show in store for you today. So, I'm going to do a bit of housekeeping as we get started first. The first thing is, you all know the deal. Stop right now, like this video, share it with others. I promise you there will be something in this conversation that someone else needs to hear. Don't forget to comment. Your comment powers our conversation. We bring it into the discussion. You might take us down a rabbit hole. Who knows what will happen as you help us comment and power the show. So, with all that being said, I want to welcome you again to season 9, episode 101. My name is Rhonda Y. Williams. I'm what I like to call an R soul, or a recovering stressed out leader. Today, my goal is to help leaders really begin to feel their power, to be empowered, to inspire, and to really confidently step into the leadership life that they love. I do that through Above the Grind Leadership, where we do coaching, mentoring, and speaking and workshops and training for leaders all around the globe. You want to learn more about the work that we do, you can visit us at atgleadership.com. So that's a little bit about me. And today I have my cup. And of course, I'm starting off with the Coffee with Rhonda show cup, because that's appropriate. And in my cup, I just have boring old tea. I don't have anything special. I don't have anything good going on. There's not any little secret additives or anything like that. So, welcome everybody to the Coffee with Rhonda show. Ready to get started. And we're going to say good morning to our caffeinated co-host, and then we will introduce our special guest for today. So, Miss Murray, hello. Oh, good evening to you. Welcome back.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. You've got a little muffled, but you're fine. Go ahead. We'll rock through it.
Okay, so just want to say hello to everyone. We are back. So this is Murray, the greatness engineer on your side. And I'm all about greatness. And I started as an engineer. So my engineering, background, I've led me to use engineering to help people to become the best version of themselves. That's what I've been doing. I'm the founder and director of Energy Resources, and I also a show, host a show every week as well called the Greatness Engineering Hour Show. So today I'm drinking water. So I've been drinking water to start with, but we're going to change a little bit later. So all
Yeah.
good.
So, Marae, what time is it there?
So it is 6 past 10 p.m.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Marae is in the down under, Randy. So that's why with such a time difference. So we always are wondering what Marae has in her cup. So when she's got stateside shows and things, conferences going, she's got something a little stronger than water in her cup. So, all right. So thank you, Marae. Welcome back. Miss Roz Jones, great day to you.
Hello, how y'all doing? Excuse my heavy voice. I am Raj Jones, the CEO and owner of Jacksonville's Best Caregivers, where we help expand the life of your loved one. Why do I do it? I do it to help the caregiver to reduce that SOS on their journey, which is being stressed, overwhelmed, and providing safety and security. When you can't do it all, you give us a call. And I needed to give the doctor a call because I have not been feeling well. But I hope you all uh, still give me the love and allow me to still be my goofy self here on the show. And I have missed everybody. And Randall, I look forward to our conversation with you today. Uh, and I know I'm going to enjoy it, darling. And what do I have? I have a big old bottle of water over there with water drops in it to keep me hydrated.
Cousin Roz, I am here for you. Cousin Roz, I am here for you. I am here for you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You heard what he said, Rhonda, cousin. We first cousins. You check that out.
We're first cousins, and we're not even removed. We're just a little removed.
Just a little removed.
That's awesome. Roz, thank you so much for being here. I know that you're not feeling well. We love you. We hope you get better. And we're so glad that you're present with us today. So we will keep things moving. And it is time to introduce our special guest who's joining us today. I'm super excited about our conversation. I'm going to read a little bit of the bio, and then we are going to turn to Randy and ask him to just summarize that a bit for us. Tell us what he does in the world and tell us what's in his cup. So, thought author, speaker, and podcaster Randall Kenneth Jones wears many hats. His expertise is in storytelling, and you all will hear this in our conversation today. And it has really garnered a lot of notice. Randy helps individuals and businesses develop their most powerful stories for the media, best suited to their message. One of his books, Show Me, has a foreword by Peggy Post and the Emily Post Institute, which is really very powerful. I put the links to all of Randy's books in the YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, please scroll down and visit some of his books. In 2018, he and Susan Bennett, the original voice of Siri, launched the Jones.show podcast, which I love listening to the introductions because I love listening to Susan as she does that introduction. In 2022, Chicken Soup for the Soul's Mark Victor Hansen discovered and published Jones's first fiction book, Ruby, Magic Comes from the Heart. He's a contributor to Breakfast with Champions on Clubhouse, and his mission is to support positive communication, creative thinking and innovation, and authentic self-expression. We are super excited to have you joining us at the coffee table. Randy, welcome. Tell us a little bit of a summary of what you do in the world and what you have in your cup.
You did such a great job. There's nothing left for me to say, but there's always something left for me to say. There's always something left. I make everything I do professionally helps someone. And I'm very proud of that. I work with a nonprofit educational foundation in Florida, the Immokalee Foundation, that helps put children from migrant farming communities into post-secondary education. As a communications consultant there, I have done healthcare writing, which is with the goal of having people recognize I have these symptoms. I need to get this sort of care, which I have to believe is going to help them. The podcast, Jones.show, exists to look for the best in people. I I also say about the podcast that it is living your best life at home and at work, because I'm one person. They're really blended together because I love what I do so much. I don't really have a differentiation between home and work, be that good or bad. I'm not telling people to do that, but you can live such a positive, wonderful life if you try to look for the best in what somebody has to offer you, even if you have differences. Only by finding areas where you agree and where you admire and respect people, that's the way you build. That's the way, that's the way you start the relationship. So that's what the book Show Me was about. It was 100 some odd interviews that I conducted when I lived in Naples, Florida. And celebrities started saying yes to doing my show, which was crazy. And then after that first book came out, I had written a business column that became the first book. I missed it so much, I started the podcast, Jones.show, with Siri. Yeah, it's crazy. And she'll all of a sudden, she'll go into original voice of Siri. And last night, literally, somehow they obtained her voice, and the comedian that was in the finale of America's Got Talent, Susan's voice was in it. They had somehow, there's some way you can get access to it, and Susan's voice was in it. But I'm pinching myself a lot that I have this kind of access.
Nice. I love it. Well, we're going to dive more into that, and we're going to talk a lot about listening, but tell us what you have tell us about your cup, and tell us what you have in your cup.
I'm self-promotional to an extent. So it's Jones.show, Jonesing for good. But I love this cup because it's me and my dog animated.
Oh,
I did a show and they animated us. It was so great. One of the shows they interviewed me, but they knew Alexander was there because he actually barked during the show, and they animated it as if it were an animated cartoon. And this was the still they gave me. So it's me and my dog, cool. Alexander, on the backside of the cup. And so I love my puppy dog. So he's not here though, because he's not in the room because he can take over interviews.
I know how that goes. My honey doesn't bark. She just throws her toys all over very loudly whenever I'm in the middle of a call. So I'm like, okay, you will be outside right now. So I totally get that. So let's say good morning to some folks out there. Moms out there. Hey, Mom, welcome back, y'all. Glad to see you. Been missing the show. Don't know if you still do this, but I'm here with my nice, large, cold orange spice iced tea this morning. Of course we do that, Mom. We always want to know what's in your cup, and you have the best things in your cup. So thank you so much for tuning in. My sisters out there. Hey, sis, Regina, living in San Antonio, Texas. She's got McDonald's coffee in her cup. Amina is out there. Hello to all you, my beautiful friends. Amina is tuning in from Johannesburg. And she also says, great topic, coming in with no assumptions, but a place of curiosity. Love that. Yes. And then someone on Facebook, and it's not showing your name. You may need to authenticate and allow StreamYard to see your name, but it says great book. So someone out there has read your book, Randall, and they are co-signing that it is a fabulous book. So but all of that, let's dive in today. Really excited because I do something with all of my guests, and I say, share with me something that's meaningful for you, a quote, a formula, or something, so that we can include that in our conversation. And we got one from Randy, and he does go by Randy. Excuse me. He does go by Randy. Randy, do you want to quickly tell us about that?
When your name is Jones, now Roz is going to get this. It's really hard to rank on Google when your name, you have, 7,473 other people who have your name. So if you Google Roz Jones, I've done it. There's more than you that comes up. Randy Jones, there's a ton. And to be Googleable, to have my own presence, I went with my full name, Randall Kenneth Jones. My father is Kenneth. He's 92 years old. He lives 2 miles from me. The man is the greatest thing ever. But the other thing is, other people had my name. Most notably, Randy Jones, who is still very active, is the original cowboy in the Village People. The original cowboy in the Village People is Randy Jones, and we have the same birthday.
Oh my!
We have the same birthday. So I had to differentiate myself simply by using the name my parents gave me.
Oh my goodness! So I love that so much, Randy, and I can relate. So as a person whose last name is Williams, Yes, I
Mhm.
totally get that. So I did the same thing, funny enough. So the why do you see a Y in my name everywhere? It's that differentiating factor. Little did I know there is a Rhonda Y. Williams, and that's how she uses it. And she is like some famous historian person who who is from Yale and talks all about history. And so yeah, I still didn't win. But hey, what am I gonna
I
say?
actually think Jones is the fifth most popular. I think Williams is number 3 or 4. I think Williams is a more common last name than Jones. The
Yeah,
last time I looked it up, yeah.
I can totally see that. So, Mindy said, "Good morning, welcome back." Thank you so much, Mindy. It's great to be here. Oh, and the Facebook user was John Cox. John, thank you for letting us know who you are, so that we can say thank you.
John, the check is in the mail.
Yes, the check is in the mail. Don't wait too long, but it's coming to you. All right, so let's talk about your opening quote, because I found this quote to be I loved it. There's so much in it. It's going to take us who knows where. And so we will talk about it right after I show this here. All of you watching later or listening on podcast, the quote says, "Every new moment you spend with anybody and anything has to be a new moment and not just a recreation of the past." That is a quote by Suze Orman. I love that so much, Randy, because as I think about that, this quote had me thinking about how often are we in the presence of someone else simply regurgitating the past over and over and over. So first, tell us why, Randy, why this quote speaks to you, and then I'll get Murray and Roz to react to what they saw and felt from that quote.
Susie is just ridiculous. I mean, she's amazing. And I met her first for the book. I haven't had her on the podcast yet. This is like 8 years ago. Financial guru, really is known for finance, but all of her advice tends to be how life impacts finances, our life choices. And I'm talking to her and she's quotable. And I'm writing all these things down. There's one after another. And I write that down. And 6, 7, 8 years since I met her, I try to live by that. And it's profoundly difficult and profoundly wonderful. Every new moment you spend with anyone or anything has to be a new moment and not just a recreation of the past. Try to do that at home watching Netflix for the 5th night in a row. I mean, try to do that. It is so challenging, but so wonderful to be there in front of you as a goal. And I've said to Susie, she knows I love it, but it's just one of those ones that has stayed with me in such a profoundly personal way. Some of the best advice I've ever gotten.
I'm going to come to you, Roz, because when I think about this quote, it blows my mind just a little bit. And I don't tend to live a lot in the past, but I find that this is another level, right? This is a challenge, taking it to another level. So Roz, what say you?
When people haven't seen you in a long time, they judge you by the last time that they saw you, not knowing that it's been 10 or 15 years and you have changed, but they're still basing their experience or knowledge of you on the last day that they saw you. Which could have been a bad time in your life, which could have been, whatever was going on, but I'm just going to give an example. You're no longer, let's say, drink coffee. You no longer smoke cigarettes. You no longer do drugs or whatever the case may be, but they're still judging by that. But now, you moved on, you have a family, you're doing well. You're having a somewhat balanced life, let's just say, but they're still judging you by the past, which is wrong, And so I have people that do that to me. Well, Roz, you used to do this and you used to do that and blah, blah, blah. Now you're so quiet. You're not as loud as you used to be. Hey, I'm talking in here.
That was a perfect timing. That was Roz. That could not have been more perfect. Roz, you're not as loud as you used to be. Excuse me.
More proof that she's cousin Roz. More proof. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, I'm talking. I'm like, come on, baby. You can clean later. But anyway, the whole thing is that, you know, I used to respond to stuff, but now before I respond, I listen.
Mm-hmm.
I listen. And so my response is when people talk to me, do you want me to listen? Do you want me to give advice?
Mm.
You know, do you want my opinion? You want a suggestion? Or you just want to vent?
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, the way Raj used to respond, yeah, I would come out and give you a solution right away, but you may not want my solution. You may not want my advice. You may just want me as a sounding board.
Yeah.
And then also too, if you take my past, that's my past. I'm no longer there. That's way over here. And now I'm way over there. So, you know, there's a gap that you don't know about. There's something between here you don't know about. That's
Right.
just Ross Jones talking.
Love that, Roz. It's an evolution and a journey. What about you, Marae? What did you feel or take from that quote by Susie Orman?
It's just so powerful because, like Rose was saying, when people see you, they always see you in the past, unless you let them know otherwise. So it is important to first, when you meet people, to listen to what they have to say, and then get the opportunity to update them about, the growth that you've gone through, and your new challenges and your new goals, so that they really, it's like, when you have a computer, you do an update. So really, get this update all the time so that people don't just box you in your experience of the past. And I
Yeah.
think that's very powerful because even us ourselves, sometimes we just get stuck into our past because we're so scared to get out of this box. We're so scared of, what's gonna come because we feel like we don't have control on it. So we want to stay, in this what we call this comfort zone, and don't really, have the strength sometimes to challenge ourselves and to really understand that yes, the growth is happening where we become when we become uncomfortable, and we have to continue to grow. We can't just stay and live, in the past, be it
Yeah.
past or the back past. We have to keep going because
No.
growth doesn't stop.
No, I agree. It is. So I think the challenge is for all of us. We've got some folks out there. Lotus Richie is joining us. Hey, Lotus, great to see you tuning in. She's tuning in from Washington, D.C. And she says, great point, Roz. Sometimes people only see what they want to see. She says, Marae, great to see you. Amina says, listening to understand. And I'm going to bring this back to you, Randy, because I'm wondering then how do we be in the moment, because we can't do anything about what those other people are doing, right?
What
So how do we bring
reference
ourselves back?
what she's referencing is don't listen to respond, listen to understand. Sounds simple, but it's not. And I believe I heard that advice for the first time within the last year, which is crazy that it took that long for that advice to come to me. If I can back up a little bit to sort of add to what Marae
Sure.
and Roz talked about, that people know you as your former self, but I just moved back to my hometown of Columbia, Missouri after 39 years, and it can be wonderful to recapture your former self too. Because these are people that have, some of these people haven't seen me maybe a little bit, but now I'm spending time with people I have literally not spent time with since high school. And you get to recapture that feeling of I can do anything. I can go anywhere. I can do anything. I heard recently, I'm 61, and I somebody made a comment about 60 is the beginning of getting old. And I went, okay, I'm good with that. I'm at the beginning. I'm just at the beginning again. I'm good with that definition. And it actually helped me understand and appreciate my aging process.
Wow. No, that's really powerful. So what I'm hearing everyone say is that two things can be true, right? There is an element of being in that past that may be a little bit uncomfortable. It may not be where you are, but there are also great elements that it's okay because people want to connect. That's how they've connected to us in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to do a bit of let's do some confessions right now.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Did you see Roz and I at the same time went, ooh.
On the Coffee with Rhonda show, I like confessions because I like building awareness. I like building self-awareness, and we like to keep it real. At the coffee table, there's no fakeness and there's no fraud stuff and no other stuff that my kids would say. We don't bring that to the coffee table. How good are you at listening? So I'm going to do a round robin for all of you on a scale of 1 to 10. Be honest, on average, and I know there are different places of listening, but on average, you have a way of listening. If you're out there in the audience, I want to know, how good are you at listening in general on a scale of 1 to 10? How would you rate yourself if you're being fully transparent and honest? It's just us here. There's nobody else listening or watching, right? Just us. So, who wants to start?
That's a big answer for me. And that's the crux actually of what I talk about. So that if I can have a little bit more time to explain myself and defer to the ladies first, that would be great.
That sounds good. We'll come to you at the end. All right, ladies. All right, Roz, I see your face. You're thinking hard. We're coming to you first. I know, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at listening?
It depends on the situation.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to be honest, because y'all know my alter ego could kick in at any minute. My Jaquita Alizé Jenkins Johnson personality could kick in, or the educated Roz Jones could kick in, or the Coffee with Rhonda show Roz could kick in, or the caregiver Roz, or, so it depends on the situation. But if I could average it out, maybe about a 6.5.
Okay. All right.
And
Good
it depends
answer.
on the situation.
I feel like a game show. Good answer, Roz.
I think Miss Roz is a 10 at everything she does. So I don't know what the 6.5 nonsense is. So
because because sometimes I conveniently don't listen.
Okay. All right. Audience out there, if you're out there listening, drop it in the comments for me. How good are you at listening on a scale of 1 to 10? Marae.
So with my children too, with my parents maybe 9. In the office 5 probably, or 6. So it's real. I don't know what's the average of all of this. So
I mean, can't you look at Marae and know she's a good listener? Don't you just know? I mean,
Well,
I just met her and I can answer that.
But this is why we do self-awareness level setting, right? Because we all think we're pretty good listeners or fairly decent listeners, but really, it's kind of like, really? So I'll go next. I'm not always the greatest listener. I am the best listener when I am in session with my leaders, when I am dialed in and we are working in together. I am at my best in terms of listening. All the other times, my mind is going often very, very fast and very quickly. And I will say I am probably maybe a 7.
Don't believe that. Rhonda hears everything. That ain't true. Rhonda hears everything. She telling a lie.
That's nonsense. That's a nonsense number.
Listen, I'm just keeping it real. Trust me when I tell you.
We're keeping it real. It ain't 7. It's higher than that. What's her name?
When people tell you who they are, believe them. Believe me when I tell you, I work very hard not to look like I'm not listening and not to seem like I'm not listening. I'm putting it all out there on today on the show. And Randy, we've got you to okay. Thank you. So
confessions. I've got confession, like big time confession. This is confession.
Okay.
At confessional. I started the interviews for my column, which became my book, which became the podcast, because I talked too much, because I was not a good listener, because I was a performer. I was a comedian. I was an adult class clown. And it's not that I craved attention. That's the way I knew how to exist. But people were not always nice to me. And even now, there's people that are going, Randy Jones is doing a show about listening? What? They're not buying it. And I can't tell them that they're wrong. But I recognized I've got to get better at this. I need to listen. My husband, who I've been with for 27 years, is a phenomenal listener. Everything about me started to change 27 years ago because I started to adopt so many of his incredible qualities of being inquisitive, of listening, of having a more diverse set of friends who did different things, watching different types of TV programs. He really changed my life, but I didn't listen well. To do what I do now, I have to, or I fail. And I don't fail. I'm a Virgo. I don't fail. I don't fail. So I put myself intentionally in a situation to interview people. And if I don't listen, and if I don't practice active listening, and if I don't ask questions, I don't understand, and I fail them. And the other part of me is I believe that every person who sits across from me will be celebrated. They will be celebrated, and I want them to feel honored and celebrated first. And so I have to listen to do that. It's hard.
It is hard.
You've heard me on Clubhouse. I still tell my little stories. I can still get on the soapbox. I can still be the barker at the carnival. I can still be the talker. I'm still a talker. I'm my mama's child. She never shut up. I mean, it come by it naturally. Poor Miss Ross. She's like, oh, but no, I did this truly because I recognize first you have to admit you have a problem.
Yeah.
Which is why we do the assessment and awareness, right? That's why I always elevate awareness, because if you don't say it out loud and get it out there, then you can keep fooling yourself and telling yourself that you're a great listener when
Which is why I had suggested listening for non-listeners. Now,
right.
I don't know whether a non-listener has been quiet long enough to listen to this show. I hope they're listening, which is why, to your earlier point, share this show.
Yeah.
You're listening to the show, you share this show, and you can reach people. I was in my mid-40s when I went, oh, Randy, shut up. Give it a break. People are tired of listening to you so much. And trying to improve what I thought was a huge deficit and putting myself in a situation. Let me tell you, if you see the types of people I talk to, I can't fail. I don't get to fail.
No, you talk to some amazing, amazing people, Randy, and there's a comment out here. And so let's go and see. So first of all, Lotus says that so delighted to hear you all talking about this topic. Many people need to graduate from putting people in the box of no change. That is true. And we can only do that when we recognize that we're doing it, which is why I ask everyone to share this show, because we have a lot of fun. But there's a lot in this show that is designed to help people. Regina said 50% listening for me many times. So Regina, there's some opportunity there, right? We all have it. We all do. And that's real. Amina says, my listening remains a work in progress, especially as a coach. Amina, that's so true. So I've been coaching for many years, and I'm now getting a certification in coaching just to have it. But it's one of the things I'm having to be aware of and dial up is my listening. She says, I'm practicing being in the moment. My clients rely on it. It's not easy. And you know who else deserves it? Our family, right? When I'm talking to my family, that's the time to do all this other stuff. It's like, no, stop. Stop. Pay attention. Listen. It's like, oh, they're going to love me anyway. So here's a comment. Does Randy listen to his sister?
No, I do not listen to my sister. No. I have two of them, and neither one of them has a thing to say that's worth listening to. No, I have an adopted third sister, Erin Brockovich. That's the one I listen to. And we all know that my sister made that comment. There's not my sister Paula or Janice made that comment. So
Ross
that
said,
was
what about her?
That was well played. That was well played.
I thought you adopted me.
Oh, but your cousin Roz. You want to be sister Roz? You can be sister Roz. You can be cousin Roz. Roz, you can be whatever you want. I'm not gonna say no to you. I know better. So you can be sister, you can be cousin, you can be whatever. So
fun. All right. So we're going to take a little bit of a break here. So there's something that I want to share with all of you, because we have launched a new service, and we are doing our debut video of this new service. And I would love to watch it here with all of you. Everything that I do is about helping leaders and helping them get better and really step into their power and understand self-mastery around leadership. So we're going to debut our new commercial here, and then we'll come back and continue our conversation on the other side of this. So be right back.
The demands, pressures, and vital responsibilities of modern leaders are unprecedented. The relentless pace of organizational transformation, shifting workforce dynamics, and the distress of ever-heightened visibility can deaden the crucial need for renewal, self-trust, and growth that is essential to their success and that of every organization. Because the need for renewal and self-empowerment is dire, we urge you to join us for the next Leadership Accelerator cohort, wherein leaders gain the skills and winning habits enabling them to rise, be greater than their challenges, and master their leadership journey. A haven for leadership ascension, growth impact, and support, our stimulating, always rewarding discussions deliver a brain trust of thought diversity contributed by a wide-ranging talent pool of influencers, leaders, and influential professionals from every continent. Our expert trainers and coaches summon and deliver combined decades of experience and success, guiding participants upward, enhancing communication skills, nimble responsiveness, expanding confidence, and navigating conflicts with ease. This is a strategic growth process, a practical science, not a theory. Each cohort tackles real-world leadership challenges, applying modern leadership concepts that aid in career course correction and sharing the uncommon goal of creating more aware, self-directed, and visionary leaders. Please take advantage of this truly unparalleled opportunity to forge lasting connections with bold, mentor-minded leaders. Experience the advantages of advanced insights, support, and an expanded global network. Immersion in the Leadership Accelerator cohort is a transformative experience designed and delivered to clarify, reshape, and lift any leadership journey. Join the Leadership Accelerator cohort today and ignite a path of aware, modern leadership that cultivates well-being and high-impact performance.
Yay! Thank you all so much for watching that with me. It's really a powerful program. And if you're interested, if you're a leader who wants to upskill and wants to talk about that, call me directly on my cell. I want to help you. I want to talk to you. 469-579-1788. 469-579-1788. We are here to help our leaders who are dealing with some really tough times right now and have not had the opportunity to upskill in a way that they want to. And when you call and talk to me, ask me about our 200% money back guarantee. We are not playing. We are here for you. So that being said, thank you. Any comments about the new commercial, Roz?
I was like, oh my God. It was phenomenal. First of all, I wrote this down. I didn't realize that by listening to the commercial, that my leadership has an impact, a global impact.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't even hit me until I looked at your commercial. And then also too, being on Clubhouse, I'm realizing how easy it was to expand that influence. But when you put it in that commercial, it really let me know that by some simple connections and some trainings and some connecting with you, that my impact can go even further, and I don't have to do it alone.
Nice.
That's Roz Jones.
Right.
I'm gonna let my cousin Kenneth go next. Go ahead, cuz.
As a creative director, I had to comment and think how well produced it was. Incredibly well produced. But you know, I have to agree with Roz. I literally host a podcast and I see the reports and I quite literally know it's global. Yet today I have realized my global impact for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm big in Costa Rica right now. Don't know why, but I am. I had never ever thought of that. I've never ever thought. I think it's so easy for those of us who are situated inside. I'm in an office in my home in Columbia, Missouri. To even though we know it's vast, we know it goes everywhere. Since we don't know where it goes, we don't see it. We don't realize the impact we're having.
We don't.
But no, it's incredibly well produced, which is, I also liked the diversity of the people that were shown in the video.
Yes.
The age diversity, like the cultural diversity, that's very, very important to me. And so I like to see that.
Thank you. Thank you all.
And the commercial had a good pace. It had a good pace. It wasn't stagnant at all. It kept me, literally, I was here taking notes. I've never taken notes in a commercial.
But your voiceover talent was great. And I talked to lots of voiceover. I'm friends with Donald Duck. Seriously. I'm friends with Donald. And Siri. So I'm all about voiceover. Your voiceover talent was great.
It was.
The right energy from the voice.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's the longer version. It'll go on the website, but there's a shorter version. But as I said, if you're interested in learning more, let's see what folks out here said. Miss Lotus said, full body listening. That's a perfect segue into what I want to talk about now, because I want to talk about, why is listening so hard? We keep saying it's hard, it's hard. Why is it so hard? Is it because there are so many different types of listening? And Lotus says we're taught to multitask, but it's better to be in fact, we wear multitasking like a badge of honor, right? And this LinkedIn user says, I am certainly not a good listener, and I really do have work to do to improve my listening. I have high hopes that my current coaching certification program will be instrumental in enhancing this aspect of my abilities. Bravo to all of you. I'm so excited. This is why we do the show. And this is why I read every single one of your comments, because you're the only reason we're still here. So thank you. Very impactful indeed, innovative and informative. So Randall, why is it so hard to listen?
I have a story.
Okay. I'm so surprised by that.
Yeah, I know that's shocking to you. Oh, and it's something, this happened 30 some odd years ago. I was on the trade show floor with a company that I worked with, and I love trade shows because you meet all these people, so they're great. So that's kind of me shining in a trade show booth, one place. So me and my friend Jane are representing this organization, this data organization, and this man comes up and starts to talk to us. And he's kind of talking. He stays on topic. He's off topic. He stays there for quite some time. He's not going to be our buyer. But probably 10 minutes later, he looked at Jane and I and said, I'm so sorry that I bored you, and walked away. I was like, it changed me forever, because how horrifying that he was so boring. And he was off topic, and he was not our buyer. But that's no excuse for anyone leaving my presence and saying to me, I'm sorry I bored you. It's difficult, frankly, because some people also need to work on what they have to say and how they have to present it. Another little story, when I was going to interview Hoda Kotb for the first time, my friend Joanne LaMarca. Joanne was the executive producer for Hoda and Kathy Lee and Hoda, and then Hoda and Jenna. And she was the way I met Hoda. And so I was set up to talk to Hoda, and Joanne calls me up, and she said, I told Hoda that you could be really chatty, but that your time was, that you understood that her time was valuable, and to make sure you tried to stay on point, which was code for Randy, shut up. And I knew what she was doing. I knew exactly what she was doing. She was like, don't make me embarrassed that I introduced you to Hoda Kotb. Do not talk her ear off. I mean, it was brilliant code for telling me to just not embarrass her, and to make sure I stuck to the point. But I think so much, this is another side. You've got to be a good communicator coming at a person if you want them to listen to you.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I'm going to need you to say that again.
You have to be a good communicator if you want someone to listen to you.
That's powerful. It's powerful, because I always say, Randy, that the only people we have control of is ourselves. So that means if I'm in the listening position, it is up to me to do my best, so that, like you said, that person doesn't walk away from me feeling like, oh, I'm just the most awful person in the world. No one should ever leave your presence. But you should also not put people in a position where they walk away from you going, I cannot wait to get out of here because I have no idea what this person is talking about. Or it's not interesting, or it's not well defined or presented. That is your responsibility. I love that you just said that because we don't say that enough.
I called a gentleman at a really large organization to ask him to do an interview with him once, and he called me back, and I was starting to do my chit chatty sort of warm up welcome, and he immediately said to me, "So, how can I help you today?" And he said it so succinctly but politely. I went, "Oh, he is just letting me know, don't have time, don't need your chit chat, don't need to talk about the weather. I'm good. I called you back. Please let me know very politely what to do." And I thought, and I wrote about that. I actually wrote about the fact that this gentleman actually, his approach to getting people to get to the point. It was pretty
Wow.
amazing. I knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
He said,
love that.
"Don't need
So
the chit chat. Tell me what you need."
I love that. So Roz and Murray, I mean, we're talking about listening and the power of listening and how important it is to listen, but also how important it is to communicate your message effectively. So you can chime in on any part of this conversation. Murray, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think the key thing is, as a listener, you also have to direct the conversation because it's not just about sitting there and leaving the control to the person that is talking. You can ask, some question to direct the person, open-ended question, or the tone of your voice, or your body language. So it's all, it's a full package so that you can direct the conversation to, get yourself into a listening mode. And I think that's what we miss sometimes. We think that listening is not an active thing. The thing is just sitting there and listening. No, we have to play a part as well. It's an active act that we have to do. It might be just by like what Rhonda was saying about cutting the person to really direct the conversation. It can be via other things so that the person understand that, okay, I need to, change my communication, almost and really, move to something else. So I think that it's a lot, and a lot of us don't really understand what listening is all about.
Yeah, so we were born to talk. We
Yeah.
were born to talk, and we like to be the most interesting people on the world and in the planet. And Roz, I'm going to come to you, and before I do, I'm going to show you this other one this other quote that Randy shared with me, which I absolutely love. And this is from Hoda, and it says, "I'd rather be interested than interesting." I'd rather be interested than interesting. So, as we talk about listening and what that really means, it means that we give something of ourselves to this other person. And that is, in my opinion, a gift. So, Roz?
When it comes to effective communication, Rhonda is excellent like that. And when I said that earlier about, Rhonda gave herself as a low listening. And the reason why I said that is because not only is she effective communicator and listener, she has to, in order to run this show. She has to be able to listen well, and then she has to be able, when she listens, if we need to pivot. You understand what I'm saying? So and then she has to be able to corral me in. So so she has to have a full body communication skills, and in order to do things. But I value that is because by being in her presence, it's taught me some new skills. I'm saying that for a reason. It's taught me some new listening skills. It's taught me some new body language skills. Some things that I didn't have, that a little more. Rhonda has a soft way of telling people to be quiet, and I don't. So paying attention to Rhonda has truly helped me be a more effective communicator. Thank you so much.
No, I got to say, what Rhonda does is so hard, because
Yes.
she's got the three of us crazy people here. She doesn't know what we're going to say or what we're going to do. She has to listen. She has to think about what we say and what it means. And she has to think 30 seconds, 1 minute down the road, just to be doing three things at the same time. And it's incredibly difficult to do. And probably the most valuable time for Rhonda on this show is when she watches it when it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I study my shows. I don't know if you do. I
Mm.
listen to all of them several times.
Yeah.
I'm lucky. I'm the student and my guest is the teacher. And I absolutely study them and listen to them many times, not to hear me, but to hear them again.
That's how we feel about this show, Randy. And you really just sort of struck it right there. This show is, in my view, it's edutainment. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We want to have fun. I want people to laugh. I don't want it to get too heavy. At times we cover heavy topics,
Mm-hmm.
but we do it in a way that is humanizing, but we want to have fun and we want to learn. We learn all the time. So Mom said, wow, what a professional promotion of the new leadership cohort. Congratulations. Thank you so much. And Amina said, true, engage. This is so critical for us, right? So I want to get to we're going to do the greatness minute, and it's about controlling your brain. And coming off of that, I want to immediately give solutions. So this show is, we give a lot of information. We talk about a lot of stuff. We go all over there. But at the end of the day, what do we want people to leave with in terms of how they can improve their listening? Not just that you're an awful listener or you need to get better or be a better communicator. That's all fine. But here's a couple of ways that you can begin to make that shift. And so when we come back from this, Randall, I'm going to start with you and ask you to start and help us become better listeners. And then we'll go around to Marae and Roz and get some additional insight on anything that they think. So first we're going to go and we're going to do the greatness minute, because I think controlling your brain is a great place to start with becoming a better listener.
Welcome to the Greatness Minute. This is Marae, the Greatness Engineer, with you today. Today, as part of the Greatness Minute, I want to talk about controlling our brain. As you probably know, our brain is the only thing we have, when we go through tough time and hard time. It is also the only asset that we have, the most important asset that we have when it comes down to greatness. And that's why it is really important that we control our brain. It is very important that we condition it to do what we want. That's what it is important to look at your brain when it comes down to greatness. You have to start with greatness in mind. So start with the greatness in mind and then condition your brain for this greatness. And don't ever, find a way out. Don't let your brain find a way out of this greatness, because if you don't, the game is over. It's going to be virtually impossible for you to attain greatness. So greatness has to be the norm for your brain, and it will become the norm for you. So that's really what I wanted to share today. See you next week.
Awesome. Love that. So coming off of that, Randy, how do we control our brain and become better listeners?
First, anyone could listen to Marae for like hours on end. I'm an accent freak. I love that accent. I was just like, can I have like, an hour next time, Marae, not just a minute? I just want to first admit you have a problem. We joked about that before, but it's true. Recognize, am I listening well? You really have to be aware. You have to live in a space of such awareness. But if you really want to make it hard, approach it as if I'm going to have to write about every conversation I have. Mm-hmm. Think like I've said, think like a journalist. When I was writing the business column and I'm interviewing Susie Orman, I'm interviewing Aaron Brockovich, I'm interviewing Pat Benatar, whoever, I have to write about them. It has to be meaningful. It has to be accurate. It has to be compelling, and it has to be interesting. So if I'm not listening, I can't do any of that. So if you actually put yourself in the shoes that I'm going to have to write about it, I'm going to have to talk about it, I'm going to have to explain this conversation to somebody else in terms they can understand, you can't help but to get better. But there's so much talk about listening. And I think so much of what's out there, the rhetoric goes in one ear and out the other. The cute thing about God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. True. True. But if we don't apply what we hear, if we don't apply these lessons, I'm telling you right now, all of us, if you're to the point where I'm going to go talk to somebody now and do this right now, bye, go, leave now, leave the show now. We'll be here later. You can listen to the show later. Go take action. I get so fearful that when people listen to my show, when they listen to your show, that they go, and they listen, but they don't actually take the advice and they don't take the action necessary to make the change in their life.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to encourage people to do. Have those conversations that they're required to report on.
Love
And
that.
hopefully you're never going to have a guy at a booth at a trade show say, I'm sorry, I bored you. Oh, it's awful.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, so good. I can't believe we're coming to the end of our time together. So now, speaking of thinking
I
about
thought I was on the panel permanently now. What's this end stuff? I thought Roz, that's what Roz told me. Murray just texted me and said you're in for good. And Roz is like, yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. Am I getting kicked off?
Well, the listening is it's really a powerful conversation. And there's so much here. And my biggest fear as a leadership coach, trainer, all of the work that I do with leaders is that they will leave and not take action.
Mm-hmm.
You just nailed my biggest fear. So everything I do is about sustainability. I build sustainability into all of my work because here's my quote that I came up with a few years ago in doing this work. It doesn't matter what you know if it doesn't affect what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Doesn't matter what you know if it doesn't affect what you do. You must do something with it. It's not enough to know. So
well, I'm going to interject because you're not going to say this. Then if you can't do it, that's when you need Rhonda.
yeah,
I'm going to be the commercial for Rhonda. That's when you need her. You need the coach that can hold you accountable to give you the assignment to make sure that you take action on what you know. That's when you need Rhonda.
No, I completely agree. So, and let's see, someone said probably not Paula Gale Brown.
That's my sister, so I'm not sure what the probably not Paula Gale Brown. Oh, I don't know that. Yeah, anyway.
Maybe it's her. Maybe that's her watching.
Maybe somebody set her up. Oh, maybe it's not my sister and one of her friends is messing with her.
Well, let's do this because we're coming to the end of our time. Let's do our coffee shot. And then as we wrap up and do our final What's in Your Cup segment, then we will get Murray and Roz to give us some final thoughts on listening. All right. Got it. Good stuff. Okay, so we're gonna go.
Can I say something? Did you see that I've actually got smart water?
Yes.
Because
does it help you get smarter?
See, I said you were a 10. I said you were a 10. I've got smart water because it makes me feel better about myself. It does. As stupid as that may seem, it does. So.
Oh my goodness. All right. So let's do the What's in Your Cup. After this, we're going to come back and we do our What's in Your Cup. So if you're out there listening, What's in Your Cup is about what did we give you today? What did we pour into your cup? What are you taking away? Is there any specific action or just anything that resonates with you? So I'd love for you to share what we put in your cup today. We'll do a round table when we come back and talk about what's in all of our cups. All right. So, Roz, let's start with you. What's in your cup as we leave this wonderful conversation about listening and so much more?
Randall messed me up earlier when he said, and I've been taking notes, you have to be a good communicator if you want someone to listen to you. And then my takeaway from that is, why don't people listen?
Yeah.
Thank you, Randy.
Yeah. Really good. Thank you so much. Murray?
Yeah, for me, it's really the emphasis on the active part of listening that we always miss. And really, how this, and I like what Lotus said about, listening to your body, because that's really what's going to guide you and help you with your verbal communication as well as you communicate with the person and listen. So that's really what the key thing for me today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marae. Randy, tell us what you would like and hope people take away from our conversation today. And then also tell us how we can connect with you and follow you and learn about you more on social.
Can I say what's in my cup?
Yes.
Roz and Marae.
Ah,
You gave me Roz and Marae. I mean, you gave me the greatest gift you can give me. Rhonda and I know each other, and she's been a
yeah.
blessing on my Clubhouse show. She's come to my rescue on so many times when nobody else will talk. Think, be aware, take action. Anytime you're listening to any of us, whether it's Clubhouse, a podcast, a show, and somebody gives you meaningful advice, turn off the TV or the show, come back later and go do it. If you don't take action, you can't affect the change. And it's difficult. And it's difficult for me. And I have some of the best mentors on the planet. It is crazy who I can call and ask advice from.
Mhm.
But if, once again, I'm repeating what I said before, if you can't do it, you need a Rhonda. You need the coach. You need the person that can help you. The best way, I think, to reach me is randallkennethjones.com.
Okay.
randallkennethjones.com has information about the books. The Jones.show podcast is there. The Jones.show podcast. You can also just search Jones.show and any podcast platform, and you can find it there. I did one person we didn't. Do I have time for one more thing?
Yep.
Because we talked about it. There are also those special people who demand to be listened to. You can't not listen to them. There is a show on Jones.show, and Rhonda knows now where I'm going with this. Jennifer Lewis from Blackish. I get emotional talking about it. Jennifer Lewis came on my show and wanted to talk about Black History Month with me. You can't not listen to her. She commands the stage. You want to hear what she has to say. She gives her all to every conversation. Great advice. She engages in every conversation. She's sobbing at the end of the show. Sobbing at the end of the show. So profoundly powerful. And she said to me when it was over, she goes, and she knows she's good. She goes, I know I'm good at this. I know I have something to say and I'm good at this. I know what I'm doing. She goes, but not everybody gets me to do what I just did. Not everybody gets me to do that. I don't know what I did other than listened and cared and cared. And she is on the list of top 5. But there are those people who demand to be heard. And if I have another piece of advice, become Jennifer Lewis. Be one of those people who demands to be heard.
Wow. So powerful, Randy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. His show is amazing. Everyone, please, I invite you to go out there and listen. Before our show, I listened to a couple of additional episodes. He's got an amazing one with Stedman. He's got one with Stephen M.R. Covey. Just really, really excellent episodes. So I invite you to do that. So as we wrap up, I want to just really, really thank you, Randy, for being here. It's been an incredible conversation. You're going to have to come back. We say this all the time, right? You've got to come back.
No, seriously, I would. This is great. So fun. And I meant it when I said you gave me Marae and Ross.
Thank you.
So
Thank
I meant it. Yeah. No, this has been awesome. I've loved this.
Well, let me give you my last drop of the day. And I think that as powerful as listening is, it is a gift. So not only does it show your profound caring for others, but it allows you the freedom to be fully present, to experience the moment. So it's a bi-directional gift, something that you give to others and that you give to yourself. We are all served by becoming better listeners, less talking, more listening, and not listening to respond, listening to hear, listening to understand. That is the power of listening. So with that, I want to thank everyone for being here. A couple of last minute comments for folks. Amina says, this food for this soul. This show is. Thank you for empowering me today. Amina, you are so welcome. We're so glad we could really contribute a little bit to your day. Regina said, I was born to talk, asked my mom, but I must learn to listen and communicate better. Regina, bravo for that level of awareness. You and Amina both giving our all every time we show up. Mom said, really enjoyed the show. Roz, it didn't show much that you didn't feel well. Murray, your greatness always seems evident. Randy, you are a dynamic speaker. Maybe it's the smart water. Rhonda, I love you. Mom, that's awesome. And Amina says, powerful. All right, everyone. Well, with that, you know where we'll be. We'll be back here next week, same time, same station, as we go through this all again with a whole new topic and special guest. Again, once again, Randy, thank you so much for all my guests and my co-hosts. Stay tuned for just a minute. For everyone else, we will see you back here next week. Until then, take good care.